So there are fish stuck in these little pools. They can't swim with the river, which is dry.
There's really no flowing water, and most of the river's wildlife this summer, unfortunately, has actually died off. It might take a decade or more to recover from that. We're at one of the most popular canoe landings in the entire river here, and as you can see, there'll be no canoeing today. There's no water here today.
And it's only expected to get worse.
I've always wanted to bring my children down to the brook to catch frogs and fish and kayak and enjoy the outdoors like I enjoyed the outdoors when I was a child. It just hasn't been possible.
This is our own local little gem that we have here in our own community, and I care about it because I want to see water flowing.
We need people to reach out to the regulators and the public officials. Drawing this down and eliminating this resource is unacceptable.
The solution so simple, it's frustrating.
About 30 million gallons will be pumped out of the Ipswich River watershed even today, and it's a patchwork ranging from outright water bans today to no regulations at all. Our position is it would be great to treat everybody the same, and if everybody were to conserve, there'd be enough water for people and nature, and this river would not be dry like we're seeing today.
Having the maturity to acknowledge when a season's worth of labor was largely for nothing.
Back in the early 1980s, nearly 18 million acres of trees in the Northeast were defoliated from these voracious eaters.
There's just so many caterpillars out there right now.
More than 230,000 acres of Rhode Island. It was more than half the woods of Rhode Island were defoliated last year.
I've got another customer over here in Southford as well as dry.
Unfortunately, people don't realize the value of water until you don't have it anymore.
While we're actually in a water-rich part of the globe, we should never take that for granted, and we should always be conscious of our water usage and conserve whenever we can.
We're just praying for rain.
We have ponds, so we've been irrigating, but now we're to the bottom.
All of the roots are just sitting and dry. All my ponds are down to a foot of water. Many of them are 10 to 15 feet deep, and right now I'm dealing with a foot, and I got the pipe sitting in the mud. The corn behind me is nothing. We should be picking that now. Nothing. You can only fight that for so long.
You spray it, and you think you have it out, and you turn around, and it's rekindled again.
A 7-acre fire could take as much as 30 to 60,000 gallons of water.
Keep our resource available going forward.
Our hay crop is just taking a really devastating hit. New Hampshire's lost 20 farms already this year.
The strawberry crop at Smolak Farms is in trouble. $5,000 worth of Christmas tree seedlings are burnt to a crisp.
I've heard some farmers are on the brink of going out of business because of this, and it's been difficult watching this happen with them because they're friends.
This is a summer like none of us have ever seen in terms of trees, the effect it's had on them.
Don't waste your water on grass. Even if it's yellow and brown, it will bounce back. But for trees, the breaking point may be closer than you think.
They say they've never had so many expenses without a bumper crop to show for.
So that would be 200 to 300 of these bins.
This year, the same field yielded just 3 bins of onions.
We've got about 20% of what we normally make.
Take this message seriously. Help us conserve our most valuable resource.
This type of cranberry is about half as big as it would normally be.
Right now, conventional water harvesting would be impossible. We don't have any for frost protection, really. One cold night, we're out of business. The dry harvested fruit, it's got the weeds, it's got cranberry vines mixed in with it. It would just gum the works all up.
We are standing amid exposed rocks and mud, making Ashland one of at least 10 communities looking for help and willing to pay for it. And it won't be long before Korea, the general foreman, says water will be so low, pumps could stop working.
It affects our system, precious. It affects fire protection, water tanks, and quality.
Right now, we just need to prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
You don't have to walk too deep into the forest to see just how dry it is, and that has firefighters very concerned. This quarter-acre space required 3,000 gallons of water to fight over 2 days. And with all this dry weather, firefighters may have to return here.
These aren't historic lows.
Not extreme in historical terms. One of the worst droughts in history for this area occurred in 1962 to 1967. The water level in the Quabbin Reservoir was 20 feet lower than it is today. A series of droughts also occurred back in the 1980s and early 2000s.
What they say what is key is
raise awareness and conservation in keeping it that way.
Lettuce basically got devastated.
And probably the easiest way to see this farm is having a problem is by looking at this incredibly dry dirt.
The whole 1,000 we planted is dead.
Now it's all dry and they're eating hay.
When the town starts sending out emails that they only have 20 some odd days left of water for the residents.
Wildlife is struggling too. Hardly anything showing at the gauge. Some of the lowest river levels we've seen in 50 years.
So this is the first day this family will have water since June.
All my plants, my garden, I couldn't do anything with it.
Right now, there's nothing more that we can do to get more water other than calling who is available. We've been in constant contact.
This is a case of public health and safety for a neighbor.
Connecticut River. All the land in the foreground is normally underwater.
Right now, we've emptied all our reservoirs just to flood this single bog. During the season, we had scald issues. Dry harvest also damages vine and the fruit.
It is at 35% of capacity.
I guess 50% of the volume. The third gun was practically nothing.
The price of milk is down, adding another layer of financial strain to dairy farmers.
Where I'm standing right now, the water should be 7 feet deep.
This fire in Cornwall has been burning for nearly 2 months.
We planted 1,200 Christmas trees and lost about 1,000 of them.
We take water for granted when you see something like this, and it's not until you don't have it that you realize the value of it.
In 1964, legislation was passed that allowed the town of Brockton to draw water from Silver Lake. Now, 52 years later, it's having a devastating effect on Monpont Pond, the Jones River, and Silver Lake.